Hey guys, okay, so this is a video that I was thinking about doing for a while now, and it's gonna be a review of a Mikolo Smith Machine. So I already had it for a couple of months. There's a bunch of them actually on Amazon. They're kind of similar looking. This one particularly I like because the way that pulleys are set up. So I made some modification and I'm gonna share or show you how to do it if you're interested, and just kind of give you my overall impression. And I'm gonna compare it to another cage. Technically it's not a Smith machine, but the pros and cons and why I think that having both of them will bring you a lot of benefit, because it's going to allow you to do different exercises that the Smith machine is technically kind of restricted due to how it's built. All right, so let's look at the machine first. So as you see, it's a Mikolo Your Home Gym Master. So right now, I actually look at the price on Amazon is $1,999, and it's got a $150 coupon. So technically, you're going to be paying off about $950, which is a really, really good price for this equipment. It does come in with 3 boxes. Okay, these boxes are heavy, and it took me about 7 hours to put it together. To do it by yourself, like I said, it's going to be pain in the ass because you're going to have to connect those 2 sides, but it's not impossible. Okay, so technically this is how it looks. Hopefully the low light is not going to be too bad. See, this is the pulley system. It's kind of actually nice. That's what makes it look a little bit different from other Smith machines that I saw. And what we're gonna be comparison, this is just a regular cage. And like I said, both of them have a benefit. And the main benefit is the pulley is all the way up there. The second pulley, it's all the way down there on the ground. Now, the pulleys over here, you're technically limited where this will slide down. And I'll show you in practice, when it comes to the difference. Same thing is your for the light. The pull-up bars, you have multiple hand positions, which is pretty nice. The machine is pretty sturdy. Now, this piece where the pulley slides, it's kind of on the thin side. Okay, this is the reason that you have this plate for lat pull downs. So if you lower the pulley, technically, and like I said, all these are very, very beefy. And the reason why you have to put your feet over here, because like I said, this is not thick enough gauge to provide a lot of structure. Okay, so technically you couldn't, they couldn't put a feet plate, somewhere over here, because like I said, it's a little bit thinner. So this is a little bit thinner. This bar that the Smith bar rides on, it's solid, it's very heavy. And as you see, it's on springs. Let me see. So over here, you can raise this and put your stopper. Okay, so when the bar goes down, and let's say you get stuck, it will sit on this, so it's not gonna smush you. And if you drop the bar, for example, it's got springs, so it doesn't crash into the machine too hard. So this is solid piece. This is pretty thick. These are the pegs that this bar hooks on to. As you see this hook. When I got it, this hook it was all bent up, so I had to kind of try to straighten it. It's a pretty thick gauge. And you have these things and these bars that your pulleys, let me see. These pulleys are sliding up and down. Okay, these are solid. Oh, you know, they're not solid. They actually have so these are empty on inside. And what's crazy is, so they hold up over here, but they don't sit on the ground. They're actually kind of hanging on the floor. But like I said, it's there's a spring over here, same thing. So when you drop it, it will go and spring on that so it doesn't crash on you. And then you have your holders for your for your bars. But if you have a you know what, let me adjust my tripod. But when you have a 8-foot or regular straight bar and you have an 8-foot ceiling, as you see, these pegs are a little bit too high and they will not clear your ceiling. So if these were a little bit more lower to the ground, I think that would be a little bit more ideal. All right, give me a second. Okay. So like I said, these will slide up and down. This is the highest position. I'm 5'11". Okay, so these technically go, as you see, about 5'11" from the ground. So if I want to do a lot pull downs, unless I'm going to be sitting on the floor, this is technically too low. This is the max. And then on each side, you have these pegs for your plates. So you have set 1, set 2, and set 3 on each side. What's also nice, on this connecting bar, you have hooks, so you can put your gear, your bars, tricep, whatever, you know, whatever you kind of need. And they come with these handles, and multiple. I don't actually use them, I gotta toss them out. What I did was, when I bought a cable, when you buy these rubber bands that I use for warm-ups, they usually come with these handles, which are much nicer. Okay, so technically this is kind of your basic of the machine. Let me get my feet on my tripod, extend it. I technically don't care about the measurement, but I think it's something that might be kind of important. So I got a measuring tape here. If you care about the width of the machine. All right. So the actual width of the machine is going to be 47 inches. And if you're going to look at this machine, all right, it was pretty similar, 47 inches. So the width is pretty standard. Now, when you have a standard, and this kind of matters, especially if you have a bedroom and you're trying to put multiple machines, the total width, let me see, we're gonna do it from this way. So it's 47, and the total width with the Smith bar, it's 72 inches, so technically 6 feet. Now, my concern was that I wish this machine was about 6 inches wider. And the reason is, you had a little bit more room. So I remember, you know, when I got it and when I kind of looked at it, I kind of feared that there might be an issue when you're bench pressing, so your elbows don't get actually too close to the moving parts. So, oh, and a pretty important part. So I'm 5'11", and this is the bar right now. And the reason why is actually I modified the pegs. So this bar, let me see. This bar's highest settings was here. This was the last peg. So as you see, it's kind of pretty low. And what sucks is that every time you're trying to grab something, you bump your head. It actually happened to me a few times. So when when you look on all the way on the bottom, I took out this peg, I measured the hole, I went to the last peg, and I measured this peg from this peg. I put a point in, like in this spot. I use a center drill, and then I use a regular drill, and I drill the holes all the way through. Just so I had a nice and good fit of that peg. And technically then I used one of these bolts, and I mounted it over here. So I was actually able to bring the bar past where I'm not gonna, bump my head. And like I said, I don't know what the peg down there is gonna do, but it's non-functional. You'll never use it. And so I kind of measured. So I took the bar, and I saw how much further of travel I got. So I figured this is my top. When you look at the hook, I had plenty of room, right? So I could even mount it a little bit higher, but like I said, I kind of figured out that it's just gonna look symmetrical, and it'll give me plenty of clearance. Another thing is, so these things, okay, let me bring it down here. This is already hooked perfectly, and look at this. This one's got a little room in it. So that means it's not a big problem, but when you slide in it, you see like these things. So what I did was I put a 35 plate on each of them, loosen these up, so the pressure kind of settles, and then retighten these bolts. But as you see, this side is still loose, and this side it's nice and tight. Okay, so there's still a little bit playroom over here, and I don't know if it's one of the reasons that this piece was bent, but what do you call it? It's not really that big of a deal. Inside over here you have ball bearings, so you have a pretty smooth lift on these, so you can actually tell that it's just straight mechanical, like on some pulleys. The ball bearings make a nice, big difference. And like I said, it's just one of those things that it will be probably better if you set it up correctly and everything worked. But if you do want to have a nice smooth motion, you would need to have a cable system, pulley system going between both, so that way it when you lower it, it's going to lower equally on both sides, and you eliminate that kind of nuisance or the difference of the motion. Okay, so like I said, I'm 5'11". I'll show you how much space I have when I lower it. Let me drop the bar a bit more. All right. So this is how much elbow room I have. I'm not hitting anything, but if I would back up a bit, see my elbows are right here. That's what I'm saying. If I had 3-4 more inches on each side, so like 6 inches total, this would be an ideal. And the only thing they would have to do is widen these bars and technically get a new bar. And I'm guessing this is a universal bar that they just buy that fits most of these type of machines. But technically, luckily, your elbows are always a little bit in front. So it's never been a problem, because you don't technically push your elbows outside. But it's just one of those things that, like I said, it's on the paper it's too small, but in the practice it works. Now let me get my bench out of here. Another concern of mine was that I love doing, let's say, chest flies. Okay, so I'm gonna raise this one. Let me back up the camera. All right. Okay, so all right. So chest flies, I figured this is actually might be too narrow, but you do have enough space where you can go this comfortably, push it forward, and still have a good range of motion. Where I don't feel, like I said, it would be nice to if it would be a little bit wider, but you can do all these things. Let me see. And what's also good about like this system is I can have a 25 plate on one side and it still rides smooth. So you don't have to actually have equal weight on both sides, which is really nice. So like I said, the pulley system is very, very good. I never tried do 45 pounds on each plate, but like I said, I do 25 or 35. And I've never seen that it was tilting to one side. The range of motion was super smooth, and like I said, it's the reason because there actually are ball bearings in the part that slides up and down. So packs, so like I said, chest flies and stuff like that, you can do fairly easy. If you want to do real delts, you will have to get on your knees, for example. And same thing is you have a pretty good range of motion. And there's plenty of space. But you already have to be on your knees. Now, if you want to do, let's say lats, so pull downs. Let me grab a bar. And yeah, by the way, one of my big grips is that this right here, okay, it has the way this is set up, and this clip has to stay up like this because the holes are actually kind of small. So for me to hook anything up, I have to go up here, kind of play with it, twist it. See, so I have enough, because if I try to close it, this thing slides up. I do not like this option. And I saw a review, somebody else, I'm pretty sure had the same machine, and they had a different, they had a different setup than that one. This is the one that came out with it, so came with this part. So yeah, that sometimes can be a pain in the butt. But like I said, it's just a small nuance. Also, some people kind of complain about some of these, you might chip the paint and stuff like that, but it's a gym, it's not a goddamn Barbie doll. So, like I said, you have to kind of play with it to kind of get it through. All right. So if I'll sit down on a bench, I'm not gonna just like this. Or technically, like say, you don't get a full extension. This is too low. So unless I would have to pull my bench out, get on my knees, okay, and then I could get a full extension. And technically even, see, I still maxed it out and So for pull downs, this is not ideal at all. But for rest of it, it's like I said, it's a pretty good setup. Especially for the money. Like I said, this is a lot of weight. This machine weighs a ton. It comes with a lot of parts. So I definitely, no matter, like I said, these few very small nuances, I definitely would recommend this machine. I think it was one of the better purchases. Okay, so this machine has a pulley, like I said, all the way up there. Okay, so let's drop it here. As you see, this machine, plenty of motion and all the way up, and I still got room. This is why I like this machine, for that particular reason. Also, because I didn't have a room to put my straight bar, okay, and since, like I said, that little gizmo is way too high, and if I would put a bar, it's not gonna clear my ceiling because this is a full length bar. What I did, I went to Menards. I bought these kind of L-shape piece of metal, okay, and so I created kind of like a U. So this is one, this is second one, and I use self metal tapping screws, and I screw them in one place and second place on both sides. So now I just keep my bar all the way up here. So whenever I'm done, I just kind of go in, I rack it here, and like I said, and this thing kind of keeps it from moving. And so technically, same thing as I have my pegs here for benching and stuff like that. I bought, this is a universal machine, so I bought extra pair of bar holders. This is for dips and pulleys. That is, I don't know what company, it says FR, but this is pretty solid. It is way better than whatever came with this machine. Like I said, a lot of parts they usually send with these machines are pretty cheap. And this thing also has a pulley that's all the way here. That's another good part. So let me show you. So I'm gonna remove, let me see, change the angle. Okay, remove this bar from here. I have a chain here. Clip it. And for example, you can lift it and you can do shrugs, arms, and all kind of goodies. Now, if you try to do that with this machine, like I said, those pulleys, then they don't go all the way down to the floor, and that becomes a problem sometimes. Now, another thing, so let me drop it here. The way you do back pulls, okay. So let's say, where's my up bar? Okay, it's right here. I try to have more clips and just hook it up to the end. But now I got a little bit extended. Look, you technically have to sit on the floor, put your feet down, and like I said, you don't get a full extension, and you can pull. This is not the most comfortable position, To me, this is kind of worthless because you cannot literally max out. What sometimes helps, when you have aerobic steps, you can just have a sit on it and try it this way. Now, let me show you guys a trick when it comes to a calf raise. You cannot do it on this machine, but you can do it on that one, since the pulley is all the way on the bottom. You know what, I'm gonna do it this way, where you literally have a calf raising machine. All right, so I have these steps, and these are, when you buy the stepper for aerobic, these are usually common as it adds an extra height. So I have 2 of them on each side, and this is where I put my feet so I can get an extension. All right, so let's get rid of this bar first. Okay, now this is a regular straight bar. I use those, I don't know, whatever you call them, inserts that usually when you have a leg extension machine, technically, you know, it goes out of here or here. So I pull them off, they fit perfectly here. So technically you have a hook for a cable, you have a straight bar with 2 of these sponges. You put them on each side. You find yourself a good height on these clips on the chain, and then you can put it on your knees. 1, 2. Now I'm on my right on my tips, and then you go down and up, full extension, down and up. So now you actually have a calf machine that works really, really good. I have a really good stretch, and like I said, I get enough extension and enough stretch to go on the bottom. And like if you need to go more, you can go and add an extra peg or extra plastic piece. Now be careful, because if you go too far, this will tip on you, and if you had a lot of load, hopefully you don't break anything. So just be aware to make sure that your toes are far enough where this thing will not tip on you. And like I said, start with the lighter weight, and you'll get a good feel of like how this kind of works. Now, the plus on this machine, because there are some same width, right? Same width. However, I never had a problem of clearances or your elbows or anything. It's because there's nothing over here. So let's say if I want to do dumbbell curls, dumbbell presses, it doesn't matter where my elbows are, because there's nothing here to interfere. So I have a lot of space and a lot of clearance. As you see, I can do extensions, I can go way outside. There's nothing to interfere with the dumbbells. So, to say that, you know, both of these, they have their pluses and minuses. This machine is capable, obviously, much more. It's just because you have more things going on. Like I said, cables can give you a lot of different exercises, from shoulder, side raises, and let me see. And let me get one of these grips. So as you've seen before, the back workout, real delts, clips, shoulder raises. You can turn and do real delts, obviously with 2 of them, they feel better. Your bicep. All the way up. You can grab it like here. Now you have your tricep. You can lower this a bit. Quick change. It's this side. The rope that came with this machine is horrible. It's very stiff. But I bought a bunch of separate things. You can reverse. And now, tricep extensions. So, bench press on the Smith machine, shoulder press on the Smith machine. You can do shrugs, you can do squats, but technically so can you on this cage. This cage is obviously, I would say about $400, which is more than half the cost of this one. But I do believe that this is worth more than half of whatever this machine is worth. So like I said, there's pros and cons to both of them. If I had a choice, I would probably pick Mikolo. But like I said, for $400, especially if you have weights, I would probably, and if you have a room, buy actually second one, because with this machine, you technically can do most of the workouts you can find in a gym. You just have to get a little bit kind of creative. And that's about it. Like I said, it's a very good machine. If you can get it for $950, like I said, it's currently on sale on Amazon. I would not wait. But if I had a choice right now, if I had to pay $1,300 for it, I would actually do it. And trust me, I'm not wealthy. But I think it's just, I'd rather to actually have a gym equipment at home than, in my case, I would have to drive 20, 30 minutes to gym each way. I work long hours. So it's nice to kind of come home. You know, I keep my place clean, got a TV on, nobody bothers me, and that's the way I kind of like it. So I'm very happy with both of these machines. For my setup, I have Merax adjustable dumbbells. These go up to like 75 pounds. Then I have these all for one. These dumbbells are technically, so these are they go up to 100, but then I bought additional plate. And what I did, because I'm a machinist, I actually open up these holes to fit these bars. So these are technically about 107 pounds right now, and I still have 5s, so I can get them up to, you know. So with all this setup, you know, have a good treadmill. The treadmill that I bought is a Lifespan. It's a really good machine. I had it for a couple of years now. It's one of those that the back of it will actually kind of go up for storage. I mounted a couple of hooks and stuff like that for all my bars. And the last piece that I bought, because like I said, the Cappy, you know, kind of sucks, is that leg extension machine, which is technically here. Let me see. So this machine, it's got a decent range of motion, but it needs a lot of work. I have to shorten these bars up. I'll have to figure out to make this a little bit more sturdy. This seat crackles, and I will make a video about it. So I'm gonna have to reinforce it from the bottom, because when I sit down, it feels like I'm gonna break this seat. So if I can get this seat kind of going, then yeah, like, you know, I'm kind of all good around. And like I said, and this bench has a leg extension, but it's very hard to get a good workout. The range of motion and the way it just rolls on my feet, because it's actually too short. I think it'll be good if you're 5 feet, but not for somebody that's 5'11". All right, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful. I hope to make videos that actually are productive and helpful. And yeah, I'm guessing this was the last kind of video that I wanted to make about this gym. And if, like I said, if you're looking for a gym, don't wait. Right now it's technically October, kind of running down to end of the October. It's on sale. If you're gonna buy it, because like I said, I bought it last year for holidays, and it was for $1,099. There was no $150 coupon on top of that, so that's the best deal I've seen yet. All right, guys, take care.